The Pusher Pass podcast is not meant for younger listeners. This is a mature podcast. We use salty language. You have been warned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Pusher Pass podcast from the Pusher Pass Podcast Network. My name is Dave, as always. To my left,
Jesse.
To my right,
Steve.
And we are here today to talk about Heroclix, Guild Ball, comics, and whatever else. So, it's been a few days since our last recording, and a few new things have come out in the Heroclix world. Specifically, a pre-release has happened for the new set. Jesse, tell us about this new set.
Well, actually, it just came out today. Today being May 16th, if you're listening to this in the future. Yeah, the set just came out today. It's people are buying the set. I really don't know I really don't know what else to say about it. So, Dave, you played in the pre-release. How did you do?
I actually went 2-1 after not playing the game in probably... When was the last time you saw me play? 5 years ago?
Probably the last time I kicked your ass across my dining room table or whatever it was.
Okay. Other than that, the last time you saw me in a store?
That I don't know.
Okay, that's been a few days. I think the last time I played, you were running up at another game store.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, over at Name Redacted. So, yeah, it's been a few days. I went 2-1. The game played similarly, but holy crap, there's a lot of new powers.
Oh, yeah.
And by new powers, I mean just infinite text on cards.
It's actually a lot better than it was.
I'm not doubting that, but every time I would be like, all right, what does he do? And people would just hand me their card because stuff would happen.
It's usually easier that way.
And I'm not even talking about it just being Thanos because, well, fuck that guy.
Speaking of which, got my brick yesterday. Pulled Thanos.
Oh,
very happy.
Great. I'm looking forward to not playing against that piece.
Oh, you're going to see him a lot. He's good.
He's very good. He's got an ability that's super dumb.
He has multiple abilities.
He has like 5 abilities that are super dumb, but regardless. I mean, there was a lot of cool figs in the set. I didn't pull amazingly. I got a stupid car and a giant Hulk thing, which I kept looking at it and then looking at other models and looking at it and looking at other things, and I eventually went, no, I'm not gonna play this guy. I don't know if that was the correct mistake or not, but I think my team was something like Iron Man, Kismet, some Prime dude. I can't remember his name. He's on fire. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He had running shot, and that's why I took him. I also had Hawkeye and Black Panther, who, like, 2 games was pretty damn good of mine. Mm-hmm. He's super solid. Yeah, I was mostly just, I'm going to shoot the crap out of people and try to live.
Yeah, it is a proven tactic.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I've definitely noticed is that basically if you have range, it's no better than a fist fight sometimes.
Yeah.
Range is nothing now, essentially.
Yeah, ranges got redacted quite a bit.
Yeah, it's like, how do I even get to people? Because you can be on the opposite... You don't start. I'm not talking about like the opposite side of the board, but I'm saying like, you know, you'll move. Each team will move to their own sides of their building, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, I still can't make it to you with any of my figures. Like It's mildly infuriating.
It's you got to know how to do it. There are tips and tricks you have to learn, young Padawan.
Well, it used to be TK people, but not a single piece in the entire thing that I pulled had telekinesis, so...
It's not given out that much anymore.
I can notice that. Also, people that have running shot, it's like, oh, great, they move 5, and then they shoot 6.
Mm-hmm.
Not that far.
Nope.
Yeah, it's basically how the hell do you get to anybody these days?
They reduced ranges to make close combat figures a little bit better.
Yeah, it just delivering models was still difficult in that situation.
Takes practice.
That being said, I went 2-1 somehow. First round, I got stomped by Thanos. He's really dumb. I blew up all the other guys' figures but Thanos. But Thanos was still there. Because once I read all what he does, I'm like, oh.
He gives you the bad touch.
I mean, he had 2 prob control pieces.
Always good.
And Thanos. So he had like 2 probs, an outwit, and something else going on. He had a couple of bullshit things. But it wasn't terrible. Like, I didn't lose that game, I don't think, because I got outplayed. I mean, there were some dice on both sides of the board. Mm-hmm. I mean, once I had gone through and picked up like some of his other guys, there was like Rocket Raccoon and Thanos left. And then I attempted to shoot Thanos twice and missed because of a couple of things. Like I either just missed or missed him. And then completely got my butt kicked from there on. I think you called time before I completely got wiped out. But other than that, it wasn't great. So round 2, I played some guy who said he never plays in the stores ever.
Yeah, I don't recall who you played.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Yeah, I've only seen him at one other event, and that was at the pre-release I played at.
Yeah, I mean, but judging by the way he was asking about how powers worked and how things... I mean, I was asking you stuff because I'm like, does this counter this type things? Because some of the powers are like, how do I deal with this thing? But he was mostly like, I don't know if this works together. And I'm like, you can running shot energy explosion. I'm pretty sure those work.
They do.
So, he didn't score a lot of points, but I also killed his team.
Yeah.
And then round 3, I played against, I believe, Andrew.
One of my regulars, yeah.
One of your dudes. I'm going to go ahead and chalk up the game to a lot of wonky dice and him not being in the greatest mood to play that last round.
Yeah, he tends to get a little bummed out after a while and it's also like we never do 3 rounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we usually do 2 rounds and cut. Because of that, about that time, depending on when we start, if we do like 40-minute rounds, we normally end up starting late as it is. Like the event starts at 6:30. Don't get started. Like everybody's settled down to like 6:50. Mm-hmm. Do 2 40-minute rounds. That puts you at 7:30, and then like another 5 minutes in between to get everything set up, and then like past 8, there's no time for another round really because everybody wants to be able to like go out and get food afterwards.
Oh, I'm used to playing later than that.
Yeah.
But, he was all poopered out after 2 rounds, and I'm like, bro, this isn't Nationals, but
again,
really?
you are experienced gamer. This is the first game he's ever played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is not coming from any other games. He's played video games. That's really about it. So
okay.
He is not experienced. He would not... he's not someone who'd go play in a 7-round tournament and then be okay to like do stuff afterwards.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that explains all of that. I mean, the game ended. I killed all of his figures. He killed most of mine, but I still won the game.
Yeah.
And then how do you do your shit in your thing? Because I went 2-1, but placed like 17th somehow. Because I was gonna ask you that, but then I just didn't. Because I'm like, how do you go 2-1 and like come in? I think I came in like literally 13th place.
Well, we had 14 people there.
So that gives me questions.
I can actually pull up the results.
I don't know what place I placed, but I was like, I went 2-1. I should get like the ability to buy a booster, and I did not have the ability to buy a booster. And I wasn't gonna throw a temper tantrum since it's the first time I've ever showed up, and I don't know most of those guys, and I wasn't really super mad about not being able to buy a booster for a set I don't care about. But I was like, how did I place that badly and go 2-1?
Let me see here. Bringing up the results right now.
Because as far as I knew, I thought it was win-loss and then points were tiebreakers.
It is.
Everybody else went 2-1.
So,
And this is where I kill time while Jesse's looking up stuff about a tournament that's probably going to get cut at the end anyways.
let's see here. 1, 2.
This is for my own
3,
personal knowledge.
4,
You'll never hear
5,
this, people, because
6,
we're going to probably cut this
7,
out.
8.
Penis.
Now we're definitely going to cut it out.
The top 8 placers, because that's pretty much the people who got the boosters.
Yeah.
They were there was a lot of 2-1s and a lot of points higher than you.
Yeah, okay. Makes sense. I forgot you don't do what's left over, is it?
Nope, there is no survivor points.
Okay.
Survivor points have not been a thing for at least 12 years now.
Really? I remember that being a thing for a while.
It was a thing for a while, but then people stopped doing the. People started going out and killing like a 20-point piece and then keeping the rest of their team alive. So they'd get 320 points, move on to the next thing. So yeah, usually if you're going out and you're fighting, you're going to lose some stuff.
Well,
Survivor
sure.
points won't get you through to the end.
I lost a lot of my figs throughout the tournament. I was just curious. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was a fun time overall. There were some people I had never met there before. There were a lot of things that took me off guard for how pieces worked and how pieces worked, in conjunction with multiple powers. Just the fact that a lot of white powers literally grant you 3 powers at once.
Special powers, please.
What? They're white. They're white boxes.
Just stay away from that WP word.
Oh, Christ. Ironically, it was on Black Panther. So let's, it was like what? I think he has sidestep, stealth, and leap climb at the same time. Something ridiculous like that.
I believe so.
So I read it and I'm like, stealth, leap climb, and I'm like, this is everything a Batman ever wanted to be like 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm. But Batman are better now, so it's okay.
I was going to say, this is pretty good. All right, so
getting back into if you consider playing in the game, do you have any concerns about stuff that concerns you, stuff that gives you a little pause?
I mean, there's a lot of special abilities that give you like triplicate powers or things that trigger at the beginning of a turn or trigger randomly. Mm-hmm. Things that you wouldn't expect to happen at the same time. I really feel like you used to just be able to look cross table and know what happened.
Yeah.
And if now you could do that, it's just you have to like literally memorize every figure.
I mean, one of the things that you want to do before a game is you want to look at your opponent's cards, especially if they have any special powers or traits.
Oh, sure.
You want to know what they do.
Now you have to sit there and have a book lesson for about 5 minutes because otherwise, I mean, you've tried to ask it on the fly. You're not going to have any time during a match.
And it's also like you kind of want to look at your opponent's figures like before you decide to do anything. So if you're like, I'm gonna running shine and attack that person, you have to find out like, does this character have stealth before you go ahead and like say you're gonna running shine and attack that character, and they say, oh, okay, he has stealth, so you can't see him.
Can you target somebody else then?
If you have somebody else to target, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can be caught. You don't want to be caught in illegal game state. 'Cause you will have to go back and fix that. But there are also some gotchas, stuff like that you can just blindly walk into and look. Oh, by the way, you're in this aura where you take infinite damage and you lose the game.
That's a thing.
It's not a thing. I'm just exaggerating.
Sure. I mean, I didn't. It's WizKids. I wouldn't have doubted it for a second that it didn't exist. That being said, there's a couple this set doesn't have a lot that I'm super interested in. I mean, there's a couple of figures from characters that I like the Quasar looked really cool just because I like Quasar the character.
The Quasar is actually pretty cool.
And he does a lot of cool shit on his dial. Got like ranged vampirism, lifesteal, energy drain, what do you want to call it?
Steel energy.
Steel energy. All of those terms combined to what I wanted to say. But I mean, there's a couple of cool figs in the set, none of which I got. So
I mean, it's a rough set to break down considering if you're chasing after some of the regular size figures, you only get 4 booster.
Oh, is it? That's way less now. Do you get what?
Well,
5
you
or
get 4
6 now?
You get 4 regular size figures and then the colossal figure.
I mean, the Colossal figs, I mean, the Groot's cool. Thanos is cool. I mean, he's broken, but he's still cool, like, cool looking. There isn't a lot of guys that I'm really looking forward to. I mean, the Kree sentries are neat just because they're replacement robots until I get more robots.
Yep.
I mean, and I guess that'll lead a little bit into like some more concerns. It's like, yeah, the Kree Sentinels are cool, and like the only thing I have left from the old game, I have a couple of figs randomly here or there from like when I played in a couple events and there were like booster giveaways. Like I have random junk, but like the most of the stuff that I actually have are Sentinel based robots.
Yeah.
All the ones from the boost, all the ones from the X-Men set, all the one from the X-Men stuff that was in Toys R Us when it was in there. Master Mold and sent all the Days of Future Past bots and America Bot and everything. And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I was going through my figs yesterday because I pulled them back out of storage, and I'm like, wow, some of these figures are 150 to 200 points, and their stats are not as good as a 50-point dude that I was playing with the other day.
That is correct.
My biggest concern is that basically you either buy the new stuff or you can't play the game.
That is a concern. I mean, that's like that in any game, though. There's constant power creep, and unfortunately, the stats in this game are tied to the figures.
Sure,
you can't they're not just going to make replacement dials for a figure you bought 10 years ago or something like that. So you have to play with what you have, or you have to replace what you have.
Yeah, the big thing I was looking is like the 50-point little Sentinels are junk, but they always were junk. The bigger ones, they have dials that are twice as long as the current figures. A lot of figures these days could be anywhere between 50 and 150 points, but they still all only have 6 clicks of life.
Yeah.
Like the Sentinel figures that we have, obviously they're on bigger dials. They have anywhere between like 8 to 14 health, depending on what point level you're playing them at.
Correct.
I mean, a 300-point Sentinel, I think the 300-point Sentinel has like 14 or 15 clicks of life. Obviously, Master Mold has way more, but Master Mold at 200 has 12, but the stats don't degrade nearly as bad, but they still don't start that high. Like their attacks are much lower. They're all about 10s or 11s.
Yeah.
Whereas like 10s and like 11s and 12s are pretty prevalent. And there are a lot of ways to just boost your abilities. Like some of the figures I had just said, if you're not on a theme team, get +1 attack and defense.
Yep.
Which, I mean, made that Hawkeye a little better.
Hawkeye is amazing.
I mean, he's okay. He does no damage.
That Hawkeye is a good crowd control piece. He is there to take out the other person's little point figures.
So he wasn't bad, but it was one of those things where like you can get a dumb attack if you want it somehow. There's a lot of high attacks. There's not a lot of high ranges anymore. But I mean the Sentinels that I have upstairs have pretty high ranges comparatively.
Yes, they do.
With big move and attack powers.
So you figure that right there is their one saving grace. They outrange a lot of the pieces nowadays.
They do outrange. I mean, Christ, the old ones had 10 ranges.
Yeah.
10 range with a 12 move running shot. I mean, those things, good luck, but I mean, they don't do anything. Those other ones don't really do much anymore. The original ones from 17 years ago.
Oh, yeah, don't talk about those. Those are statues. What those are?
They do sit on my shelf.
They are just goofy looking statues.
They do sit on my shelf. But I mean, some of them aren't terrible. It's just one of those things where you'd probably need all the ones with the coordinated assault to do anything worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
That being said, I was told that there was a piece that I need to pick up from a couple of sets ago to make robots work better.
Oh yes, you need to pick up a little character named Justin Seyfort. He is an amazing little piece for playing your robots.
Where does he come from in comics?
In comics, he comes from... Well, he actually first appeared in a comic book called Sentinel.
Oh, really?
He was a kid who lived by a junkyard, found a Sentinel body, like a Sentinel piecemeal in the junkyard, put it back together and reprogrammed it.
No, smart kid.
And so he made the Sentinel like his bodyguard, or he made it like his robot buddy. So he had like a little remote control, like a radio control thing that he can use to control the Sentinel. So that's what he does in Heroclix.
Okay.
Beginning of the game, you choose a character that has the robot keyword, and they become his Sentinel. Let me actually pull this piece up. Oh, so long ago. There he is. Avengers Assembled.
Because it wasn't just you. It was like also like Joe was telling me I need to get Justin Safe for it. Now apparently he was expensive back in the day, but now he's pretty cheap.
I mean, until he rotated it out, he was constantly played, especially with characters like Krang and stuff like that.
Oh, because he was a robot?
Krang was really good, but Justin made him broken.
Shouldn't Krang have been an android, though?
There's no android keyword.
Oh, okay, because he's a brain in a robot body, so... Yeah. I guess.
But he with his little tendrils, he does control the robot.
You're right. How could I have forgotten that? I mean, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The lore is deep.
The lore is deep.
All right, so, I mean, Justin Safe for it. Trait, rebuilt from the ground up. When building your force, choose a friendly character with the robot keyword. The chosen character is Justin Safert's Sentinel. He's a special attack power. Program in a new prime directive. Give Justin Safert a power action if he is adjacent to his Sentinel. When he does, his Sentinel may be given a move action as a free action, and then it may make a close or range combat attack. So, power action to your little 40-point human guy. The Sentinel he chooses now moves up to its full speed and shoots or punches somebody.
That
for
seems
free.
Pretty good.
And then he is unless the thing has tokened out or pushed out or something, it can go ahead and then make a regular attack.
With Sentinels though, they all have colossal stamina, so they can just keep pushing, right?
That is correct.
So wow, that seems dumb. Was he unique? Like, were you allowed to play two of them on a force?
You could, yes.
I mean, he's only 50 points.
40 points.
40. That's cheaper.
And he's only 4 clicks long, so there is that.
He go and die.
I mean, if he's 4 clicks deep, he starts out with super senses and then 3 clicks of willpower.
Sure.
So he gets a little bit off that second click. He's pretty pushable. Like, you can just keep making your Sentinel go across the board. And
yeah, it seems pretty decent.
But if he misses his super senses, he's probably dead.
Oh yeah, he's probably getting killed. I mean, how far is the range on the ability?
He has to be adjacent to them when he uses it.
Can the Sentinel, when he's moving, carry him?
Yes, if they are a larger character, yes, they can carry him.
Yeah, because all the Sentinels all the real Sentinels have flight. They all have the flight keyword, so they can do that during its power action or its free action.
I mean, yeah,
they can taxi him.
It's move, so it's not.
So they can pick him up.
If it said place them,
then no.
Then they would not be able to carry. But since it's move,
they can use whatever move powers they have.
Come here, little guy.
They scoop him up
across the board,
and you can still put him behind him, and that'll still block line of sight to him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's still fine.
That is a tactic.
Okay, I'm just checking for future considerations. I'll probably end up getting one of those little guys.
You really should.
And then I'll attempt to find the rest of the robots that are hidden somewhere in my house.
Yeah, I mean he has 2 keywords: initiative and sentinel. Those are he's sentinel because he obviously controls sentinels, and initiative because he was on the Avengers initiative team.
Oh, really? Okay.
He was like hero in training type thing.
When did he come out in the comics? Was he a '90s character or?
No, he was mid 2000s.
Okay.
You think Sentinel was almost part of like the manga-verse type stuff where they put out the more manga inspired comics?
Okay.
Because giant robots.
Hey, everybody loves giant robots.
But yeah, so he has that his special attack power is to give him the power action thing. He has that down his entire dial. 2 clicks of outwit, 2 clicks of stealth, 2 clicks of sidestep, 1 click super senses, 3 clicks of willpower. His defense sucks, so he's gonna get hit and he's gonna die.
Sure,
but
just hide him behind Master Mold.
So 2 clicks starting out with 2 clicks of a special power, mechanical tinker. He can use support, but only to target characters with the robot keyword. When he does and the character heals, that character modifies its defense value by +2 until your next turn.
That seems pretty good. How does the support change in these days? Because it's gone through flux a couple times, I think.
Support has flopped around a bunch.
Does it automatically hit now?
No, it does not automatically hit.
So
you still have to roll for it. It's not an attack roll, so you can't prob it.
You can't prob your support roll?
Let me I should double check on that, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I figured you should know this. You're the Heroclix guru over there.
Well, they've changed support so many times that it's hard to keep track of what exactly it is.
I mean, it used to be an attack roll that you could prob, and then it was a D6.
I mean,
that was what it used to be.
It used to be an attack roll, and then it was just roll dice against their defense.
I was always surprised support was never just guys next to you can take a free regen roll or something. You know, I'm surprised I even had to roll for it ever. It always seemed like one of those things, like, why am I rolling to try to hit my own guy?
Well, that was one of the things, like, they made, when they designed regen and they designed support, support healed you more because it took 2 characters to do it. Mm-hmm. That's why regen didn't heal as much. Mm-hmm. Where is that powers and ability card? There it is. I have like 5 million devices in front of me, and I have to search through all of them.
Of course you do.
Support. Power action. Choose target adjacent friendly character. If this character and the target aren't adjacent to any opposing characters, roll 2d6. Add the result to this character's attack value. And if that is equal or higher than the target's defense value, roll d6. The target is healed of that result, -2, minimum 2.
Okay, that's not minimum 2 is okay, because you always, I remember when you would roll regen and roll a 2 and you'd cry yourself a river.
If you were pushing, yeah.
Yeah, oh God, especially if you were pushing.
I mean, regen is minimum 1 now.
Thank God.
But that's the reason why. I mean, because it takes 2 characters to support 1 character to use regen.
Okay, that's at least a little better. But the fact that you can fix up the robots is pretty neat, because there aren't a lot of support figures anymore, from what I understand.
Not a lot of characters get just natural support anymore. Mm-hmm. Here and there, like the characters that deserve it will have, like Jane Foster obviously has support.
I remember that figure.
But even like the new Jane Foster, the one that transforms into Thor, has support.
Oh, there's a new one.
Oh, there's been multiple Jane Fosters.
I mean, there's been a couple Jane Fosters in the game. I remember the original one.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Field medic with willpower.
Mm-hmm. Dirty.
Yup.
Dirty.
Yup. But
10 points? Ugh.
I mean, she was powerful for 10 points. So, I mean, just looking at that, I mean, I would probably play robots. I'll probably end up playing X-Men if I can find some guys, because I can't bring myself to playing anything super competitive anymore, so I'll probably end up trying to find some X-Men pieces that were made in this decade.
Yeah.
So, because apparently the X-Men figures that I have still aren't any good.
I mean, I've yet to
Rip Gold Team base, apparently.
I know you have the Gold Team base. I don't exactly remember what exactly it does, and I don't remember the character dials on it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
they are a little less potent than the figures that are out today.
Yeah, I have the Gold Team base. I have the Brotherhood Team base, actually, with all those figures. I actually forgot that I even bought it, but I remember when I did. I bought it off a guy in Ashtabula, and it came with everything. I think I bought it off of him for like $40, like the whole thing. I don't even know if that was a good price at the time, but it came with everybody, so I said, screw it. And then I never got the Blue Team base, but I'm assuming that one was way more expensive back in the day, though.
It still is, yeah.
Is it still expensive?
Jubilee's a super rare.
Oh, is she really? Okay, because I know the ones on the Gold Team base weren't hard to get.
Most of them, no.
So, but I mean, there's a couple of guys. I remember I heard the last set was an X-Men set, base set, and I hear there's a Days of Future Past set coming out here real soon.
So it's going to be the Summer OP event. So you got to come to stores to get the boosters, to play with them, build seal teams, and collect it that way.
So I have to go to the store. So there'll be a lot of people at the beginning, and then they'll trickle off at the end.
It's only 3 months long. So there probably won't even be like that much of a degradation. Okay.
Well, I remember back in the day with the Green Lantern sets, they were for a while, and there were 2 different sets, but a lot of people wouldn't show up after a while.
It'd be like, I think we did total of 6 months for that event. The first month of the set is available. It was crazy. Second month was a little bit less, and the third month it was just like, crickets. And then once the new set came out, people started showing up again.
Of course.
And then another taper down.
So you're saying with it, but it's, as far as I can tell, it's only going to be 1 set, so it's not going to be like 2 like the Green Lantern one was.
We don't know exactly what's going on yet. They haven't, because it's so far, it's in August is when it's supposed to start.
That's like 3 months. We got time.
We haven't seen any previews yet.
Okay. So basically, eventually.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, they just showed that they can make big boosters again with big figures. Maybe we'll get some robots.
The grand prize is the Tri-Sentinel. Days of Future Past.
That's a robot.
That is a big robot.
I want that robot. Probably the only person who wants that damn robot.
I'm sure there's others.
Oh, I'm sure. And they want it just because it's rare and will sell for a bunch of money. But that's not anybody we know.
Actually, not really, because the store is free to, if they order multiple kits, they're free to sell another one for like $25.
Oh, really?
And the figure will be available in stores the following year for $25.
Oh, so basically if you buy it early, you're silly.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, at least that ends the scalping run. Mm-hmm. So, I'll probably pick up some X-Men stuff. Maybe Titans if there's some Titans that were released in the past couple of years. As you're shaking your head.
Nope.
Why does nothing I like get released? God damn it.
So
I only like comic books based on teenage characters with strange powers.
They tend to die these days.
The Titans?
There's been some killed off here and there.
I mean...
well, what it comes down to is that... So, back in the mid-2000s, to take us back, when we were playing Versus, we talked to Matt Hyra, the game designer of Versus. And he pretty much told us that, like, Marvel is really easy to work with. They'll rubber stamp pretty much anything you put in front of them. DC is more involved and takes time, and they want to have, they want their pick of the artwork, and they want to approve the game text and stuff like that. It's the same thing in Heroclix. That's why there's so many Marvel sets and so few DC sets. This was confirmed to me by an unnamed WizKids employee at a past event.
By an unnamed, name redacted type person.
Yes.
Because, we know a person whose name will be redacted, who knows a person whose name will be redacted.
It wasn't even that.
Oh, it wasn't even that.
It wasn't even that.
Because we know lots of name redacteds.
Yes.
Ironically, we know people in the gaming world. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Hyra laid it down, and I wouldn't doubt that, because even when we were playing Versus, you could tell the difference between a Marvel and a DC set.
There was always like 2 or 3 Marvel sets to a DC set in Versus.
Yeah,
it's the same thing in HeroClix.
So, like, you might get 3 Marvel sets in a year and might get 1 DC in a year back in HeroClix now?
Pretty much. We are getting, this year, late last year, we got Harley Quinn and the Gotham Girls.
Okay.
And this year, we're getting Batman the Animated Series.
Neat.
So everybody complains that, like, all they do are Batman and Justice League sets. That's what DC wants them to make. They don't have, they have had entire set, from what I have been told, they have had entire sets scrapped by DC because they don't want to promote those characters, because those characters don't sell. The books don't sell. They don't have them in popular culture. So, depending on how well their streaming service does, you may start seeing some Titan stuff pop up again.
Which streaming service?
DC's got their Netflix-style streaming service going to be starting up. That's how you're getting the new season of Young Justice.
Oh, it's not going to Netflix anymore?
No, it never was going to Netflix.
I thought it was getting picked up by them.
When they announced that it was going to they were going to make season 3 Young Justice, they're like, it's going to be on our exclusive streaming service.
Oh, that I have to pay some amount of money to buy?
Yeah, it's like DC Universe or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's like how I'm going to watch Star Trek eventually.
Yep.
Wait for it to all come out at once, and then I'll pay for them. I'll get my free month subscription and watch it all.
Pretty much.
Because the problem with every company making their own streaming service is that nobody wants to pay $10 10 times. That's why we cut cable. That's why we cut cable. Like, I don't understand why people. I'm not trying to go on a crazy tangent, but that's why I cut cable. Mm-hmm. My sister pays for Hulu. I pay for Netflix. That's how it works.
I pay for WWE, and that's going to be cut like within a few days.
Yeah, there's everybody shares some stuff, but that's the way the world works.
I pay for Acorn, and since I'm done watching the one show I was watching on there, that's going to get cut.
Yeah, I have to watch most of the shows that I watch. I have PlayStation View,
and I pay for Netflix, which I think 3 people are using.
Yeah, everybody, you share some stuff. Look, I get it. Like, they want to make money, but I don't want to have to pay for DC Universe when the only show I'm going to be able to watch is that. Unless I'm going to be able to watch all the old episodes of the shit from the CW.
You might be able to. They haven't said what else is coming on there. There are other shows that will be showing up on there, though.
I hope.
They've, I think Doom Patrol's getting a live-action TV show or something.
Oh, are they really? Are they releasing the Titan show through this, or is that going to be on CW as well?
I believe that's going to be on DC Universe as well.
So they're only going to release all their shows.
You're still going to have the CW shows going on the CW.
Sure.
Your Arrowverse shows, whatever they want to call it. But they're going to be like, when they launch this network, the first thing that's going to be out is the Young Justice Season 3, Outsiders, and then like other things. I'm sure they'll have like, they'll probably end up pulling stuff from WB or from Netflix, because like right now you can go on there and watch the Justice League animated series.
I love that
and, like
show.
Batman, the animated series. I'm sure they'll pull those off like Netflix.
Of course they will, just
they'll
like
put it
Marvel
on
pulled all
theirs.
their shit off.
So I mean, it is essentially keeping in direct competition with Marvel, because Marvel and Disney are supposed to be creating their own streaming service.
Which, again, we don't want to pay for 19 services. Like, if anybody's listening, which who knows? I mean, everybody's listening somewhere. Thank you, internet. But
everybody that's listening, I owe you a high five. So please make my hand very sore.
yeah, thank you for listening if you are listening. But I don't want to pay for 19 services. That's just the problem. It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to borrow somebody's login and we're all going to share, and that's the way it's going to work, because that's how we all watch the WWE Network.
No, I actually pay for mine. So
Wow, you actually pay for yours?
I do.
You fool.
I don't actually borrow any logins from anybody.
Oh, look at you.
I know, right?
This is the reverse you. We are truly in the bizarre world.
This is bizarre world.
Jesse's
Yes.
paying for something on the internet. This is truly bizarre world.
I mean, arg.
Because you were the biggest
matey.
pirate.
I matey.
So Jesus Christ, out on that chugga derail train. Where were we at on some other stuff? So there's some there are new figures that are coming out for the new set for the con exclusives. We got some new Turtles figures.
We got this is the first previews from the Ninja Turtle set, which they're cool and all, but I need a little bit more to base them on.
I like that Michelangelo. He's pretty dope.
The Michelangelo chase is pretty damn good.
Tell us what he does.
So he's got the trait where just beginning your turn, move him 1 square. Then free action, move up to 3 squares in direct path, which is straight, sideways or like diagonal. You only move in like straight lines with that. So he's moving 4 squares for free per turn. That's like super sidestep. Starts out with charge. He's got the nunchucks power, which is flurry, and every time he hits somebody, put an action token on him. So it's like, I'm going to hit you, have a token. I'm going to hit you, have a token, and push.
So he can completely lock down figures.
He can lock down a figure.
And he's got Indomitable, so he can push whenever he wants to.
Yes. And then goes into hypersonic speed at his secondary start line. When he uses it, he can use ignore elevated and hindering, but modifies his speed by -3. So he goes down to a 6 movement when he does that. But it doesn't matter because he's still got the free 4 square jump at the beginning of your turn.
I mean, he's pretty sweet. I mean, he is one of my favorite turtles, so I appreciate that he's super awesome. He's 8-bit, which is ridiculous, too.
I just hope that the rest of the Chase Turtles are that good. Maybe I'll chase them down again. See, I went through and I collected the entire first set. I have every figure from the first set.
Okay.
The second set, I didn't chase down the chases because they were like alternate superhero creations of the Turtles, which were a little weird. The third set, I got rid of the one chase that I had. I got rid of it right away. And I probably could have held on to it and gotten a little bit more money out of it because they're just broken.
No, they're just dumb.
The Shredders.
Is that the Shredder? The Shredders that won the things?
Yeah, the Shredders that win all the things.
Oh, okay. They're incredibly well play tested sets.
Yes, they. It'd be cool if we saw other figures besides those. But yeah, I'm hoping that the other turtles are just as well. Like my favorite turtle is Raphael, and I really want just like a Raphael that goes out and murders things.
Oh, don't we all? I mean, look, I like all the turtles almost equally. Everybody always asking who your favorite turtle is. I just like them all. I mean, when I was a kid, I appreciated Michelangelo more because he was weird.
He's a goofball.
He's a goofball. So when I was 7 watching the damn cartoon, he was fun. But I appreciate them all for their own reasons. After watching all the different movies and cartoons and anime and all that stuff, I like them for all different reasons. So I hope that they're super cool.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the other figures.
Foot Elite.
He's got the sacrifice power. When adjacent friendly character is KO'd, takes 3 damage, but isn't KO'd. Give Foot Elite opportunity token. Free action, remove opportunity token to either make an attack or move it to 2 squares. Okay. It really all depends on what the other figures do. what we're seeing is that, like, traits that rely on other figures to be used, and we don't have those other figures to base it on. It's the same thing with the super rare Leonardo. Like, it's cool. Like, I guess, like, the Tail Requiem thing is going to be a thing that has the other turtles will have. Mm-hmm. But until we actually see those abilities, you don't know how useful they are.
Sure. His dial, he's got flurry blades, which is never bad. He's got the chainsaw.
Yeah, but it's not something I want to see a character start with.
Does he have any sort of move and attack ability?
Later on in the dial, yeah. He gets charged.
But nothing right this second.
Nothing starting top dial.
Well, maybe there's a be a fastball special type thing.
Maybe.
But he chops real good.
Yeah, 3 clicks alone attack with the blades, claws, fangs. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with the chainsaw. But they're sweet. And then there were a couple of figures for Starro. Looks like Starro's back.
Starro, yeah.
I remember Starro being bigger. The original Starro was friggin' huge.
He was pretty big. He was still on a Sentinel-size base.
Was he? I thought he was on a Galactical base.
Nope, he was on Sentinel size.
But he was way bigger. I remember that box. I think Name Redacted still has one in stock behind his wall.
I'm sure he does. And that being said, it's still going to be a big sculpt. The set is $70.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Supposedly it's only going to be available at the World Championships, which is in November 30th through December 2nd at PAX Unplugged.
Oh, they're not going to be selling these at Origins or Gen Con?
I guess not.
Oh, that's dumb.
Which hurts a little bit because those
are the things I'm going to.
I might try to get into PAX Unplugged.
Somehow.
It really depends on, as we're speaking, tickets go on sale for this tomorrow.
PAX Unplugged?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it depends on how much, tickets are and that kind of stuff.
Well, they're not cheap. It really depends on hotels. Like, have hotels gone on sale yet?
I have no idea.
Because that's really half the problem with those conventions is getting a hotel room. Not a matter of whether you can get in the door. There's always tickets for the door.
Yeah.
The problem is whether they're going to be where you're going to be living.
Yeah.
Because the other problem is from where we live in Cleveland to Philly, it's over an 8-hour drive. It's a day's drive.
It's a substantial amount of time.
As a person who knows, I know people who've
taking
gone.
A flight.
Yeah, it is almost worth flying if you want to haul your. It's an hour and a half in a plane, or it's all day in a car.
Yeah.
The problem is that you don't then have a car in Philly.
It's
Granted, true. I've been told that people that went to there last year, it's pretty close to food. Mm-hmm. But you won't have a car to do anything. When I go to conventions, I don't usually need a car for much.
Yeah.
When I've been to Adepticon, you don't have to drive that far to get to where you need to go. You can Uber to a food place and back. Mm-hmm. But, when we go to Origins, we don't have to go that far to eat. Just walk outside.
We walk across the street.
Yeah, Gen Con's the same thing. You just walk outside and you're in downtown Indianapolis. So I've never been to this part of Philly. I don't know if this is, the worst area of the world, but I'm assuming we'll be able to walk outside.
I'm assuming not. It is a convention center, that kind of stuff. They normally trying to keep things clean around them.
I would hope. So, I've never been to PAX Unplugged. I almost thought about going last year when it first was created, but it was announced too late in the year for me to have vacation time. And also, rooms were booked out already. I've never been to a PAX. I'd love to go to one. I've heard they're cool conventions.
This is the closest PAX to us.
It is the closest PAX to us, and it is the PAX that is most relevant to my life at the current time being.
Yeah, because it's board games.
It's not video game based. I would still love to go to a different PAX that was video game based, but at the same time, this is the one that is the most akin to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's for $70 you're getting the Starro, you're getting the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern along with that. So you're getting 5 figures for $70. And all the Starro slaves, they look pretty cool.
Yeah, they look neat. The figs,
they've got decent abilities. They do decent amount of stuff. They're relatively 100, 150 points, something around there.
Okay.
There's also the Commissioner Gordon Batman suit.
I saw that. That's in some sort of exosuit?
Yes, that is. When Bruce Wayne lost his memory, he gave up being didn't know he was Batman, and was living out doing something else. He had all memories of being Batman just removed from him. Somehow they just disappeared. The Gotham PD created a robotic suit, and Jim Gordon was the new Batman. So yeah, it's a Batman piece. I have to have it.
Of course it is. Yeah, they look cool. I'm interested to see what they do on the table.
There's that. There's the Bombshell Hawk Girl, and I collected the bombshells out of the Harley Quinn set, so it's another piece I have to have.
There's a lot of pieces you have to have.
Yes, and like Hawk Girl looks fun, and then there's the other piece that I have to have, Gwenpool.
Yeah, of course. It's Gwen Stacy, and it's a pool
It's
figure.
not Gwen Stacy. It is not Gwen Stacy.
Who is it?
There's only one Gwen Stacy that survives in the Marvel Comics universe, and that's Spider-Gwen.
So how is this person?
So the thing about Gwenpool is she is from our universe, and she gets trapped. She falls through. Something happens. She ends up in the Marvel universe. So she knows, secret identities, that kind of stuff.
Oh, because she's a person from our life.
Yes.
Who's read comics.
Who's been reading comic books.
Fell into the comic book world.
Yes.
That's pretty fourth wall breaking.
A little bit. And so her name is Gwendolyn Poole. She shows up and she notices that if you are a no-name person in the Marvel Universe, you're as good as dead. If something happens near you, you get stepped on by a giant dragon or lizard or something. So she literally finds a costume, a superhero costume shop, walks in, fills out a thing, and has a thing for name, and she writes Gwen Poole. So the lady looks at it and says, "You have pink hair. I'll make you a costume," and makes her a Deadpool style costume out of pink fabric because nobody wears pink, and she wants to get rid of the fabric. So she is. It's a comedy comic. It's it's goofy fun. She's a goofy character. She goes around and tries to be an assassin, and she lucks into everything,
as Deadpool usually does.
She jumped out of an airplane once, or jumped out of a helicopter, and she's like, "I'm just gonna crash through this light," and then she goes to dive through this thing, and she just smacks right on top of it. She's like, "I am the biggest pizza."
Oh boy.
Yeah, she realized real quick that, even though I'm real and these characters are fictional, things hurt. But so she's got Batrock's Brigade, MODOK's 11 keyword, and assassin, and I just like assassins.
There you go. Well, there's going to be some cool figs coming out in the future, at least. So I mean, that's at least a few things to look forward to. So you got the new sets, new Days of Future Past, and con exclusive figures.
Yep.
All in all, it's looking like there's some cool shit on the horizon for con season this year.
Yep, there is indeed.
Sweet. So I guess leading us into another part of our
more previews
notes here, we've got more previews, this time on the Guild Ball side of life.
Indeed.
So we have the preview for this week, or they actually came out last week, of Divana. She is the
Falconer's
captain. She's been released. Apparently, she was released to pundits a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Name Redacted told us about it, and but he wasn't allowed to tell us because he's a good pundit. But yeah, she's pretty good for people who haven't seen her. She's their Falconer's captain. She's a 4/5 captain, so she doesn't get that magical sixth influence that you kind of want to see.
Yeah.
But she has a 1-inch melee. She's a 5/8 move, 5 tack, 3/6 kick, defense 4, armor 1. No defensive abilities to really name.
No, not really.
So she's a 4/1 with 16 hit points. She's pretty frail. If you can knock her over, she's gonna die.
Yeah.
Her abilities are Assist Frelsey, which is their mascot, which is the eagle that they have.
Which we have yet to see a preview for.
No, we have not seen what Frelsey does, but she has Assist Frelsey, so when making an attack against an enemy model engaged by the friendly named model, which would be the bird, this model gains +1 tack and +1 damage, which is normally pretty good. Her playbook It's a little light. There's not many options on it.
No.
She has a momentous 2 on 3. Her knockdown is on 5. Her tackle's on a 4. I mean, her playbook is not amazing.
No. It's her other abilities that make her really good.
So let's go over those. She has Deadly Wings, which is choose a friendly Harrier AoE. The chosen AoE may be positioned within 4 inches of its current location, which we should probably preface this with the Falconers Guild drop Harrier AoEs. It's a thing that a couple of their other figures do. They're 3-inch AoEs that increase damage to enemy models when they're inside of it. So this lets her move an AoE.
Yeah, move to a better location. Or like somebody moved out of it. Oh no, you're back inside of it.
Yeah, she's good, second to last activation. She has another ability called Hackback Felsi. It's a 10-inch range. The named model may make a dodge up to its base move.
Which, we haven't seen Frelsey yet.
It's a bird. The other birds have far move. So I'm assuming this model is going to have a pretty far move. And it's a dodge, so it doesn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And it's got a 10-inch range, so it's pretty good. It's once per turn. So the bird can move. So which is actually pretty good. For essentially 1 influence, the bird can make a dodge up to its move. So that can help with the assist.
Yep.
And then she has what some people are calling a broke-ass pass. She has the ability Airmail for 1 influence. It has a 14-inch range. It is also once per turn. If this model is in possession of the ball, target-friendly model gains possession of the ball. So she can give the ball to someone else 14 inches away for no reason.
Yep. Bird carries it to you.
So the big thing about that is that everyone's like, oh, it's a really long pass. I'm like, well, it's not a pass. It's automatic.
Yeah.
But you also do not get momentum, and you cannot use showboating for anything.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't dodge with anything.
And then, get the dodges.
Yeah, so it's free. It's a good fake. You can basically keep your ball on her back in the back, and then when your actual people get in position, you can move the ball up.
Yep.
It's a guaranteed, next turn, you can move. You activate her last, throw the ball across the field, and then next turn your opponent has to make that grand decision.
Yep.
She also has Death from Above.
Ooh.
During its activation, if it is not suffering the knockdown condition, this model may declare an attack against an enemy model that is within 6 inches and line of sight of this model and within a friendly Harrier AoE.
As if it's engaging the enemy model.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of conditions to be met there.
There's a lot to go over. They have to be within 6 and in line of sight.
And be within a Harrier AoE.
Then this attack gains +4 tack. So she has a 9 tack then. After this attack is resolved, remove the friendly Harrier AoE from the pitch. So it's the only thing that removes a Harrier AoE currently.
Yeah.
If I can look up a figure really fast, I'm going to go ahead and load up the good old app here. And the Harrier AoE looks like it sits in play for the turn. I'm assuming it gets removed after the turn is over.
I mean, most
but they don't go away immediately. So you can remove it. You remove it from play. It's basically that's your big shoot. If it's gonna happen if it happens. So you get a 9 tack. So the land of milk and honey here is that you put out the Harrier AoE is out. They've moved away from it. You can Deadly Wings the Harrier AoE back onto them. You can hack back Frelsey to move her over to assist. And then if this is an attack, and you're considered to be engaging the enemy model, if as you're assisting, that's a gang up, is that not?
Yes.
So you get a gang up on top of an assist. You get 11 tack on +1 damage for the assist, and then +1 damage for the Harrier
AoE.
So that all of a sudden became a lot of damage potentially because if she's 11 tack and her thing is 5 long. I mean, if you're rolling against a 4, you're going to get about half. Let's magically say you get 6.
Yep.
If you magically get 6, you wrap 1.
So that's
five and that's 5. Let's see. So it's 3 on the top and 1 on the bottom. You get that increases your 3 to the 5 and a 1 to a 3, which means you do 8 damage. And 1 momentum for 1 attack. Not the worst.
That's pretty good.
Not the worst. Let's see. The only problem with that is that like it says during its activation, it was not suffered knockdown. This isn't. I don't know if this is once per turn. The Harrier AoE needs to go away, but this does not say it is once per turn. So if there's multiple Harrier AoEs on top, I'm pretty sure you can do it
up to 3
twice.
times per turn.
Which seems pretty dumb.
I mean, you have to get people to pop out 3 Harrier AoEs.
It's not bad. I mean, Watagi can do that. Can do one of them. So you've got at least one on the board. I believe there's another model. I believe the other model who was shown was also able to put out a Harry OE. I'm assuming there's going to be a third. Because right now they're the only ones who can put them out. The other models from the Hunters cannot.
No.
And then, she does have a legendary play just because there's a legendary on top of all this.
Yeah.
Daughter of Falcons. It's a 6-inch pulse. Enemy models within the pulse suffer 3 damage and the snared condition.
Seems pretty good.
3 damage and snared. As a alchemist player, I have some beef with this.
As you would.
It's a 6-inch pulse to do 3 damage and snared. Okay? I would just like to state, for the record, Midas's legendary play says when this model scores a goal, enemy models within 4 suffered the snared condition. No damage, 4 inches, and he has to shoot a goal.
Yeah.
And Divana just does it for free for 6 inches and 3 damage automatic.
I would expect the Alchemist to be reworked in Season 4.
Oh, God. I looked at that, and I was so sad. I'm like, poor Midas.
And I would expect the Falconers to not be reworked in Season 4.
No, they look like they're probably coming out with Season 4 in mind. I mean, there might be like 1 or 2 things, but I'm imagining they're probably built with that in mind.
Yes.
Especially
since they announced today
that Season 4 will be launching at SteamCon USA.
Woot woot.
So, if I remember correctly, it's the 12th through the 14th of October. It's being held in Nashville, Tennessee. The crossroads, if you will, of pretty much the entire eastern end of the world. That's where pretty much everybody goes. Fun fact, a lot of wrestlers live in Tennessee because it's pretty central to where everybody travels.
Yeah.
So it's last year was in Chicago. This year it's in Nashville. Moved about 6-7 hours from Chicago. It's a little more centralized to the region.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever heard of a convention in Nashville for gaming, so I'm not sure where it's going to be specifically. I've never been to any conventions. I've never stayed in Tennessee on purpose. So I can't say with certainty what we're going to see from it. I mean, it's a couple-day event. I know they released the itinerary. They extended the early bird registration. I know our buddy Chris was thinking about going, and he's probably going to go because he has essentially, I think, infinite time off.
Yeah.
Working for Name Redacted. So, but it's not the same Name Redacted. It's not actually Steam. He doesn't work for Steamforge Games because he'd have to be there.
Government agency.
Shush. Now they're gonna tap our phones.
Like mine's not already tapped.
No, you have an iPhone, so it's definitely tapped.
It is.
So, no, he's probably gonna go. I don't know if anybody else from our area is going to go, Danny or Joe or any of them.
Yeah.
I am trying to make a decision for my life right now. There are 2 potential things I might be doing in October. One of them will either be going to SteamCon or going to another convention that happens to be in Vancouver. So I have to make my if to coin a phrase, I have to make my decision for Christ. To what I'm going to do with my life, because it's the last of my vacation time. I would be cutting it close. I was going to try to do both.
Yeah.
I would have to probably have some sick time in there as well. So it's going to be an interesting it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. I think that I'm going to probably have to figure out whether or not Chris is definitely going, or if my other buddy Jeff is definitely going to. It's what is the Shut Up and Sit Down convention, Shucks. It's their second convention in Vancouver, because that one requires not only a plane ticket,
but a passport.
A passport. I'm probably going to have to rent a car, which, not to get too involved, but I know people who worked at Name Redacted who know about car rentals. I don't even know if you can rent a car in America and take it into Canada.
Under certain specifications,
I'm
yes.
sure that cost extra.
Don't get caught.
Oh, okay. Don't get caught. Is that how it works?
Unofficially, yes.
Unofficially, you can't in official tone, because you do not work for an auto insurance dealer.
The less I say, the better.
Sure, because you work at Name Redacted, which does
There's
things.
a bunch, like, this is like Name Redacted number 19.
Yeah, that's why we keep saying Name Redacted. It's like a document. You work at Name Redacted, but you don't sell insurance. You don't deal with insurance. You don't do any of that garbage. You just know laws. Because I
just know stuff. I know things.
You know stuff and things about cars. So I don't, because the problem is that I don't know if we're going to have what I'm going to be doing, because it's my buddy Jeff. He just bought his first car in a while, and it's not the best. Mm-hmm. It's pretty old, so I don't know how well it's going to travel up and down the coast over there into Vancouver. So, no offense, Jeff, but you told me yourself it's a beater. So, because he's only driving 10 minutes to work and back, so he doesn't need it for much. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have to rent a car or not. Mm-hmm. So it's either expensive trip to Canada or less expensive trip to Tennessee. I mean, granted, I'll probably be able to split a room with Chris and split a drive down. Mm-hmm. But it's a long haul either way. It's basically I'm going to use up my vacation time on one of these two trips. Yeah. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But SteamCon looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of events there. All the events, I believe, after Saturday are going to be run with the
Season 4
rule book being played. So you have all the Season 4 stat cards for everything too, which I would imagine that it's going to be info aplenty during that weekend as people are snapping photos with their phone. Mm-hmm. As everybody goes, guys, look, I have the new faction. It's all the things. And, I have all the stuff for these guys. Or here's all the fixes. Or, oh, my God, guy is nerfed.
Oh, my God, they fixed alchemists.
Oh, that's such a dream. And then I can hope that they beat the fuck out of Obulus. Mm-hmm. It's not that I hate what Obulus does.
No, you do.
Take away his unpredictable movement. At least let me punch him in the face. That's the worst, is when I can't punch him in the goddamn face.
That's why you need a character with 3-inch melee.
Yeah, I'll get right on. I can just make that happen with my engineers and alchemists. I can make that happen.
Obulus is what, 1-inch melee?
No, he's a 2.
He's a 2?
Oh, wait. Let me clarify that, because I could be wrong and people are shouting at me right now.
People are cursing your name over the internet.
I mean, Chris is going to give me shit otherwise. No, he's a 2-inch. He's a 2-inch melee. Okay. He's a 2-inch melee with unpredictable movement, so you can just dodge away, and then he's got Shadow-like too, so he just goes away because he's a dick. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. And it's coming way sooner than people thought. Chris had originally speculated that it's probably going to come at the end of the year in January. Now it's coming even sooner. I'm amazed they're dropping it when it is. Yeah. Simply because it's at a Nationals event. So I'm assuming the qualifier and Nationals itself will be played with
Season 3
rules. But then they're going to force everybody at Worlds to play in Season 4. While I'm saying that, yeah, if you're that good, put up or shut up. Yeah. But at the same time, you've spent so long learning and honing your craft that throwing a new set of rules, that quickly, it's really going to be a big burden for the people that are going, because they're going to have to put in some work. Now, I don't know how much they're going to change. I mean, I don't know how much the rules are going to change. They're already pretty tight as it is. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how much they're actually going to change. Because, there's a couple of interactions that are weird and wonky, but for the most part, things kind of make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to change, unless they're just going to change for change's sake. Mm-hmm. I'm imagining it's going to be a large part of a rebalance of cards.
I would imagine
I'm imagining you're going to see a couple of characters come down a notch, while a lot of people... I mean, my hope and dream is that it's a rebalancing in that they bring more people up so that there are more choices.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, you can basically bring your lineup of 9 or 10 guys, and you basically always know that 2 of these guys aren't even going to get played.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 5 out of your 6 players are pretty much a given every time.
Yeah.
I would like there to be,
more rounded
choices. Like, you basically are always taking the same 5 guys. Like in engineers, I always know the same 5 pieces I'm taking. Mm-hmm. I'm always taking Mother. Most of the time I'm taking Ballista as my captain, just because he's a safer choice in a lot of things. I'm learning Pin Vice. Give me time. But I'm almost always taking Colossus and Ratchet.
Yeah.
Colossus is really good for all of his reasons. Ratchet's a great support piece.
Ratchet's just tools in the background.
Yep, he sits in the back. He's my poor little ginger boy who gets beat the hell out of.
It's so much fun beating him, though.
He's got no way to stop it.
No.
He's terrible.
He just takes hits.
I mean, that would be me if I was dressed up going onto the field.
Dave just takes hits.
Look, I played football for a hot minute, and I got my arm broken, so it wasn't like I was meant to be.
That's okay. I'd be just winded all the time and just flash at people.
I mean, I could see you as a shitty Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely a shitty Wolverine. But I'm hoping that they bring more people up. Like, I'd like to see more of a use. Like, for engineers, people like veteran velocity, but you never see play because regular velocity is always being
exactly. It's the spigot problem.
The spigot problem. Regular spigot is so much better than veteran spigot.
It's not that he's better. It's just you can't play them together.
You can't play them together, which, yeah, you're not going to play the same guy. This isn't the Clone Wars. But there should be a reason why I should play other people. Like, when you go into, say, Alchemists, unless you're playing the only real build you can play right now, which is that bullshit smoke team, you're playing Mercury because he can throw out a fire AoE. But back in the day, you wouldn't take Mercury much.
Yeah.
You wouldn't take Venom, really. And, yes, he was on a Worlds winning team or a Nationals winning team. I don't care. He's not good. He's just not. Stop trying to make Venom happen. Okay?
Venom is not a thing.
He's not a thing. But there's a lot of figures that you just don't see in teams. Like, there's just no way to take him. Biggest case in point, Veteran Graves. He's atrocious.
That's what I hear. I've never really paid attention to him. So
I mean, you don't see him because he's not played.
I mean, I have rat catchers, and I haven't picked them up because I just haven't.
Yeah. But
I do have a bone saw sitting on my desk at home.
Yeah,
that I have yet to put together because it looks like a pain in the ass.
He's okay, but I want to.
He's a ball player.
I want to see him.
What they want to do.
I want to see him. I want to see more players come up a little bit, so that instead of nerfing other players to make you play less good players, I want to see there be more of a reason to play a lot of players. Because I mean, you look at a couple of figs, and they're like one rule away from just being takeable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just one thing you can do for a couple of guys, and you give one guy one rule. Like, you put a sturdy here or a stoic, or you give this model wants to be a striker but has no way to strike. Like, you give it close control or give it a viable dodge. Or
poor Egret.
Geez. Like, she's good.
She's on the verge of being playable.
Because you kind of strike by attacking and dodging, but meh.
Yeah.
She's also one of those figs where it's one rule away.
If she had close control or unpredictable movement or something like that.
Yeah, give her. If
somebody were coming into her and she could bounce away.
Yeah, if some way to run away would be good.
Or just to hang on to the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just give one of the big pieces that I want to see a little bit more to is Crucible. Right now, she only has a need to walk around and follow Catalyst around and just sit there. But otherwise, she does nothing, and she might die real bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I want to do with her, but we'll see what happens in a couple months. I'm not gonna throw out my ideas now because it's just gonna change. We'll see a preview in 2 months, and we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you they're gonna start showing stuff probably by at least July.
Yeah. they'll
If
start
we
being
don't, I would assume they're gonna have some stuff for show at
Yeah.
Gen Con, because they're going to Gen Con. It is 2 months beforehand, before U.S. Nationals. Everybody pre-releases or at least shows stuff in their case.
Yep.
I guarantee you they're gonna fan out cards, and you're gonna see like rules and tokens and items for things on people's cards that are sitting there just slightly obscured because they hate you.
Yeah, when you said tokens, my insides like convulsed in pain because of all the money that I've spent on
Fuck.
the acrylic tokens.
I swear to fucking God, if they rename abilities to rename abilities,
Oh, there'll be just hell to pay.
I'm gonna take my token. It's like when I went to the Steamforged booth last Gen Con, and I was like, I would like a refund for my Super Shot token on my Midas, please. Please give me $3, please, because you
Please and
nerfed
thank
my
you.
model.
Please and thank you.
I wasn't being mad that they nerfed my model. I'm saying you nerfed my model and my tokens don't work.
Yeah.
You assholes.
Wouldn't it be like, imagine like he gets it back, like super shot, and then you're out that token.
I haven't thrown it away, if that's what you're saying. It's still
I
there.
thought you actually like gave it to them at the counter.
No, they wouldn't give me any money for it.
Well, of course they're not going to give you money for it.
I asked for money, please. But they wouldn't do it. But we'll see. It's speculation time, because now we know it's coming.
Yeah.
So everybody's gonna
everybody's worked themselves up in a tizzy. Like,
yeah.
Ooh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna
for
happen?
the next 3 or 4 months, it's gonna be nothing but rumors and scuttlebutt for a while.
Oh, season 4.
Right.
Creepy.
Yeah. And on that creepy segue, let's move into another one of our topics. Speaking of creepy segues, let's go with...
Creepy dudes and segways?
Creepy dudes on segways. We're not talking about Michelangelo anymore. He's on a skateboard. Let's see.
I was thinking Joe Bluth.
Let's go on to the final topic here on the sheet. I put in here for comic updates.
Yes.
What are you reading these days, Jess? What's your favorite book on the Times?
My favorite book. I really don't have a set favorite. So I tend to favor when it comes to comics, I tend to favor street level characters. So I'm picking up Batman. That's Batman and Green Arrow, I think, are the only DC books I regularly pick up. When it comes to Marvel, I'm picking up Deadpool, Captain America, Moon Knight, brain fart. That's
Batman.
Is that a Green Lantern villain?
brain fart? If not, it needs to be.
I wouldn't doubt that it wouldn't have been at some point in the 60s. They made characters like the Wizard and Mirror Master.
Hey, the Wizard was cool in Jessica Jones season 2. But that was the only good part of Jessica Jones season 2.
Haven't seen Jessica Jones season 2 yet.
It's obvious.
I did know it all. But look. So what's got you hooked right now? What book are you like?
So
give me that.
I read those books. I read like Hawkeye when it was going on. Other than that, I pick up Saga.
I've heard that's really popular.
Everybody reads Saga, and if you don't read Saga, you're a damn fool.
I don't read Saga.
Then you're a damn fool.
Well, God damn it! What's it about?
It is hard to explain. Intergalactic Civil War.
Okay.
It is essentially it boils down to the wings versus the horns. You have people with wings. You have people with horns. They live on different planets. They are fighting a civil war that covers like their galaxy, and there's also other factions like involved here and there. And it's about one of the wings and one of the horns. They have a child, which isn't supposed to be able to happen. So now they are on the run from everybody, essentially. And it's about like their life and their, the child growing up and stuff like that. They are on issue like 53 right now.
Okay.
They usually do like 6 months at a time. They'll do like 6 months, take 4 months off. Do 6 months, take 4 months off.
Okay.
So it's really easy to pick up. I've been reading since the very beginning. So I
I've
have like
heard
all
a
the
lot of people
singles,
talk about
and
it.
I have. Once you finish your giant stack of Star Wars books, let me know. I'll let you borrow my big book 1.
Okay.
It's like the first 24 issues or something.
Yeah. I do have a few books to read.
Yeah, you picked up a giant. You bought all the comics last week.
To say that without even knowing the second part of this conversation, yeah, I did buy a lot of comics last week. Oh, I did. I bought. So I picked up. I have already had the first 2 trades of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up the next 6 because I was behind because I hadn't bought any in a while.
Yeah.
Because originally you were like, oh, Star Wars are coming out, Dave. I'm like, I'll pick up trades. It's easier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret not picking up single issues, but I have a lot to read. Plus, I have all the 8 Star Wars trades, all the Vader trades, and then going from there on, I have all the mini series, and Dr. Aphra started up. So I have a lot to read.
Yeah.
I've read the first. I reread because I haven't read it in a while. I reread the first trade again, and the first 6 issues are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you right now, I'm reading this right now, and I'm looking at all the story, and I'm like, it's really good. It's written by Jason Aaron, who writes real well.
He is the Marvel writer of choice right now.
Would you say he's the Chris Claremont of his day?
No, because Chris Claremont got pretty shitty towards the end.
Oh, Jason Aaron doesn't.
Jason Aaron, like, I've never read a book of his that he's done that's been bad.
But, I mean, this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I've never read any of his stuff before, but this is pretty good. And the people who draw it, it's fucking gorgeous looking.
Yeah, when those books came out, they pulled away Marvel's top artists and had them work on Star Wars because they got to make the mouse happy.
You know, do what you need. But they look great, and I reread the first trade, and it's fantastic. And I can say right now, if this was like even like Clone Wars or Rebels like level like animation, like if they had done this as an animated story, it would be some of the best stuff they've done in a long time because it's really well done. And I've heard that it does not slow down. I've also heard the Vader series is also very good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reading that after I get done with the Star Wars stuff. I'm not sure where all the things fit in. I might look up a timeline to see if like I need to stop reading Star Wars at like 3 or 4 or something to read Vader to see what it coincides with.
See how they mix in.
But it looks like it's going to be pretty dope. I bought all those. I've got a lot of those to pick up. I was eventually thinking of maybe trying to go back and read Turtle stuff.
Okay.
But I know that there's a long backlog on that. It's been around for a long time.
I have like the current series of Turtles. I have the book 1, like the big book 1, like the first X amount of issues or whatever. And I'm probably gonna start picking up like issue 2, like book 2, and like going on from there. So I haven't finished book 1 yet, but I can probably let you borrow it when you are ready for it.
That'll be a few days.
Yeah.
Because I also decided, I made a big decision in my life, which was I wanted to pick up and collect X-Men comics. Mm-hmm. And by X-Men comics, I mean Uncanny X-Men. Mm-hmm. So I own a lot of Uncanny X-Men.
You picked up a decent bit.
A few books. Because I had picked up a couple issues here and there for comics that looked cool.
Yeah.
But I own Gambit's first appearance. I own the Days of Future Past storyline. Picked up Bishop's first appearance. A couple other characters I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And then I realized I like X-Men. I should just read them because I remember reading a bunch of issues when I was a kid. When the X-Men series relaunched off of Uncanny, I got the first 7 or 8 issues of it for the X-Men team, which is my only real love of Omega Red. But I'm like one of 5 people in the world that like that character, but I think he's cool. I mean, that comic looked great because I'm pretty sure Jim Lee drew it.
He did.
So that's why I liked it. But I was like, I should just, collect Uncanny. So I went to Name Redacted, and Eric helped me out and told me that, these were where all these things were. Mm-hmm. And he was actually very thankful that I bought all those things because as he
cleared out a bunch of space.
Well, I gave him a bunch of space, and I even sorted some shit for him, which he was thankful for. But it was funny because he's like, I was sitting there, and I'm trying to, entertain all the other customers. And I was really thankful that you and Jesse were very self-sufficient. I saw you in the back just popping up and down and your head swiveling on, checking, moving things. I knew you were doing something, but I didn't know exactly what. But then I made a mistake, and there are a lot of books there.
Yep.
I mean, I went through 6 long boxes, pulling through shit.
Yeah.
And I found comics ranging from 179 through 315.
Okay.
And I did not buy anything above 300 because right about 300 is where the 90s series diverged. So I figured 300 was a good stopping point for right then. Because I think they diverged at 287, 288. I
Somewhere
believe
around
is
there, yeah.
the new team is born is 288, I think. But I stopped there, and then I got everything back through 179. At least that's what was in his boxes. I've been told that the other stuff is elsewhere because apparently anything before 160 is
Gonna be money.
And according to Eric, that's some of the best books ever written. So those are not kept in just back issue form.
No.
So he's got those elsewhere. But he's got a lot of X-Men stuff hidden about the store. He's got a lot that I can get, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
I always joked. I'm not going to ask for any money for this right now because we don't do enough. But Jesus Christ, it's going to cost a few dollars. I'm going to have to work some overtime.
A little bit.
To pick up some more of these books. But I did get a good chunk of book for not as much as I thought it was going to be. So I have a bunch of X-Men and a bunch of Star Wars to read, and I'm liking it so far.
Good for you.
I mean, I had written back when I was in the 90s, and then I had started again in the 2000s, back when Avengers Disassembled launched, and read all those. And then read Avengers, some Spider-Man, Ultimates, and, I'd stopped for a while. But I'm liking this so far. It's fun. It's giving me some things to do.
There you go.
Giving me a reason to go see Eric.
Eric loves you.
He really does. Every time he sees me walk in, he has a smile on his face. He wrings his hands together like I'm about to spend something.
Like, because you usually do.
I got out of there Monday by not spending anything.
Well, I mean, you dropped a decent amount of money on the other day, so I think he's okay with it.
I mean, yeah, as he said, he has you on retainer.
He does. I'm waiting for my kickbacks to start coming in.
Just keep waiting. I'm sure he'll get them to you eventually.
I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
Well, I get some discounts. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. We all know Eric. You let him take a few turns back in time. He gives you some discounts.
Yeah, I fudged some Heroclix rules for him. That's how it works.
Oh, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
That's right.
Oh, are we over time here? Oh, we're at like 1:22.
Yeah.
We're a few minutes out. We're around an hour. There are gonna be some cuts. But
Like that.
I've written through everything on the docket. Is there anything else anybody else wanted to talk about while we're here?
Mr. Steve.
Anything else you got going on?
Not yet.
Are you reading anything?
No. I am. I'm liking what I'm hearing about Heroclix. I might try to pick up a few boosters. I did play when the original Starro came out.
I remember that Starro was freaking massive.
It wasn't that big. He
didn't stay on the base well.
He
had a finagle.
Yeah.
Figures around
He definitely, you couldn't like throw characters next up to him, especially if they were bigger. You had to kind of work things around.
So,
but yeah, I like Cosmic Marvel figures.
This is a Cosmic Marvel set.
And if I can spend a small amount of money and get broken figures, it seems like a sound investment.
There's some Thanos sins in there. I can tell you right now that they're probably from what I can see and what I've discussed with Jesse elsewise, they're in a better area of creating stuff now than they've been in the past. Definitely feel like the figures do a lot more.
Yes.
So
they're more well-rounded. They are, you're not going to have the tapering down to like 8, 7, 6 attack values.
Ugh. But yeah, I mean, I might, depending, I don't know if I'm going to buy any more of this set, but I'm definitely going to look at Days of Future Past and any of the sets past this. I mean, I love Turtles, so I might buy some Turtle stuff.
I mean, when it comes down to it, that Batman the Animated Series set is going to break me. I've already talked to like a friend of ours, and he's like, "Why must they do this to me? I'm unemployed, and I want this set so bad."
Yeah. But that's everything on the docket. I'm happy to say that we got through all of our sections
I think
in a
so.
reasonable amount of time compared to last time, considering the amount of editing we're probably going to have to do here. But anyways, on the horizon for us, we've already thrown up some videos on YouTube for some Heroclix games.
Yep.
First test games. We're probably going to do some background work to make sure that we're not just passing an iPad back and forth next time.
Yeah,
we
actually,
bought some stands.
Got a tripod.
We got a tripod for some things, and we're gonna probably try to do some Guild Ball recordings in my basement because my table is here and my mats are here now.
You just gotta get some lights.
We have some lights. We just need more.
We need better lights.
I mean, just record during a day when we can turn open the windows. But we're gonna start trying to put some more videos up. We might do some more one-shot episodes. People that listened to it liked the booster barrel roll episode that I did with my friend Dan. Depending on what we need to do, those might probably come out more often as opposed to the major pusher pass line. But they're probably gonna be one-ofs, and we'll talk about it ahead of time. And those might end up just being YouTube exclusives.
YouTube or SoundCloud.
YouTube or SoundCloud because you gotta pay for shit.
Yeah.
You got to pay for space. It's something we didn't know. You got to pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not cheap. And please share our content, folks. I mean, if
Please
you
like, share,
and subscribe.
Yes.
Please do all the things that you need to do to find us. We've tried to upload everything everywhere we can. If there's anything you want to hear it on, any platforms that we haven't gotten it to, I don't know about it. So please let us know. It's on all the things. You can download it. The moment news is up, we blast it out. The moment that we have an episode, we put it up and make it available. Editing, not withholding. I mean, we're recording this now. We're gonna edit it and we're gonna put it up. So hopefully this will come out in a couple of days for the weekend. So you have something to listen to over the weekend. And then we'll probably do another follow-up episode maybe to this once we have a little more information from. There's going to be a Twitch channel playtime for Steamforge. They're going to release the rest of the Falconers figures because those come out eventually here pretty soon for sale. So hopefully we'll get some more for that. But yeah, some more stuff for us to look forward to. We're definitely going to try to record some more stuff in store when we're playing each other. Now that we have the equipment to do so. And maybe a few more interviews with other people that we have named or have played other games in the past or play the current games from our current area. So you can look forward to that. With all that said, I am Dave.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Steve.
And you can find us on all the social medias at Push Your Pass. If there is a social media, you can find us on it, except for MySpace.
I mean, it's still around, but nobody. It just bans are on there, I think.
Yeah, you can find us on all the social medias except for 2 cans and a string. Thanks for being here with us, everybody, and we'll see you next time.